Okay, so welcome to our online reading sessions. So we will start our session by offering our prayers. मध्याह्नस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन श्रीकृष्णेन कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय श्रीमते भक्तिविकासस्वामिनिति नामिने विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नाम नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी विचारिणी विशेषशून्यते पाश्चात्यदेशिका जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे मुखम करते वाचारम् यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे शिवदूतानं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरं गुरुवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकाय तदालय कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय भक्ताय नमः भागीशाय सवदं लक्ष्मी यस्य भक्तं शास्त्रे हृदये संगीतं नमः यस्य देवे परा भक्तिर्यथा देवी तथा गुरु तस्यैति कद्देय्य कदिदायि अर्था प्रकाशन्ते महात्मनः योऽन्तः प्रविश्य ममाच मां प्रसक्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिल शक्तिधरस्वधाम्नः शास्त्रचरणश्रवणत्वगादीनां निज गुरु हरिवन्या कृष्ण संसार तो भजन प्राप्त हो। Okay, Prabhuji, Shyam Sarup Prabhu, you can start reading. We are reading from the new chapter, chapter 3, introducing Varnashrama Dharma. Okay, Prabhu,
Okay,
please.
Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Introducing Varnashrama Dharma. The Krishna consciousness movement is meant for re-establishing the system of four Varnas and Ashramas. Then there will be progress of civilization. Shortly before departing this world, Srila Prabhupada stated, 50% of my work is incomplete because I have not established Varnashrama. Considering the miraculous, unprecedented, previously unimaginable, colossal service that Srila Prabhupada performed to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission, this statement underscores the massive importance of Varnashrama Dharma in Srila Prabhupada's vision for the worldwide unfolding of Krishna consciousness. Yet, even prior to this, throughout his teachings, Srila Prabhupada had repeatedly testified to the importance of Varnashrama Dharma, which is, he stated, very important, the beginning of perfect human civilization, the perfect institution for humanity, the beginning of actual human life, the beginning of the distinction between human life and animal life, the beginning of human civilization, the natural system for civilized life. Natural because it is a creation of God, the most scientific culture. Throughout his teachings, Srila Prabhupada stressed the importance of Varnashrama for building a peaceful Krishna conscious society, and that this is a central mission of the Krishna consciousness movement. Without Varnashrama Dharma, people will be animalistic and cannot be happy or peaceful. Unless human society is regulated by Varnashrama Dharma, it is no better than a bestial society of cats and dogs, and you cannot be happy. However, you may adjust in a society filled with cats and dogs. Without Varnashrama, it is a rascal society. That's all. It is not even human society. It is animal society. Unless human society is divided into these eight scientific divisions and everyone acts according to his position, there cannot be any peace in the world. Unless this system is introduced, human activities cannot be systematically executed. No scheme or social order, health order, political order, or any order will be successful. However, if we once again establish Varnashrama Dharma, all problems will be solved. Even in this worst of ages, the situation of Satya Yuga can be invoked. Among the four yugas, Satya, Treta, Dwapara, and Kali, the Kali Yuga is the worst. But if the process of Varnashrama Dharma is introduced, even in this age of Kali, the situation of Satya Yuga can be invoked. While acknowledging that in terms of the highest realization of spiritual values, the system of Varnashrama Dharma being concerned with social organization is superficial only. Srila Prabhupada nevertheless often outlined the tremendous social benefits that implementation of Varnashrama Dharma could afford, such as protecting women from being misled into adultery, ensuring that good population will prevail, training in the vow of celibacy, training everyone so that money is spent only for good causes, and overall preventing humankind from becoming hellish. The clear conclusion: the scientific method of Varnashrama Dharma should be adopted by society. Srila Prabhupada's manifesto for social reform was to re establish, as far as possible, pristine Varnashrama Dharma. There should be a thorough overhauling of the social system, and society should revert to the Vedic principles, that is, the four Varnas and the four ashramas. Not everyone can take to pure devotional service. Introducing Varnashrama Dharma accommodates those who cannot. If you cannot work in Krishna consciousness, then you better perform your prescribed duty according to Varnashrama. In a
Okay,
big scale, yeah.
one thing I want to just mention over here. See, Prabhupada is writing, not everyone can take to pure devotional service. Introducing Varnashrama Dharma accommodates those who cannot. Actually, mm, this is important point because uh, what I am seeing is that devotees, nobody can join full time. Everybody cannot become a brahmachari. Everybody cannot become a sannyasi. So what they are doing is that finally, because Varnashrama Dharma or farm communities or agri-based life is not centered, then the karmi life is the only alternative for the devotees to lead their life. Other than that, there is no other alternative. Even like for example, yesterday, as the devotee was saying that everybody cannot become the devotees. So Sadguru is or Jagivas Dev is scattering the needs of those who cannot become devotees. At least he is keeping them pious, but that is not the alternative. The alternative is varnashram. So saying that anyhow nobody will become devotees. So let everyone work. Like in some temples, they have brahmacharis joining, and after they join, what they will do is that the devotees, those who work, they work outside. Okay, those who don't want to work outside, their only alternative is teaching profession. They only go and open institutes and become like they will preach to those students like plus one plus two 10th students, those who are inclined to join IIT NIT, and then they will preach to them in such a way that they will become grahasthas, and then finally become again into this. They are teaching them, making them work hard and then study in those institutes, and then get crack IIT and this thing, and get connected with them, and ultimately become grastas, and finally preach to the ones who are coming again. That is what they're thinking is the alternative, but that is not the alternative. Grahastha means either if you are preaching, then you be in the city. If you are not preaching, then better find an alternative in such a way that you lead your life in such a way that wherein you can accommodate in the farm. But if you cannot go to the farm, then you have to discuss with your spiritual master what can be done. Not that only karmi job or something is the only solution. So that's the thing. Otherwise, actually, Guru Maharaj also should be. I think I don't know what is the way out for those devotees who cannot join full time. Who cannot join varnashrama farm communities. If they are not joining, then it is very difficult for them. This material in this whole juncture of working job, bills, house, studies of the kids. They are getting influenced by modern society, and so many things are a problem. Even brahmacharis are facing a lot of problems. We can see that because of not having proper varnashram. Actually, if varnashram would have been established, then there would be very nice net like protection net for the devotees. They need not go out and struggle and slog like this. This one, if varnashram would have been established, then so many things can be accommodated. Mhm. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu. Varnashrama is the only alternate solution.
But if
Prabhu.
devotees don't join full time, then what about them? Okay, everybody cannot join Varnashram also. Everybody cannot join full time. What about them? The only thing is that alternative is that they have to do some karmi job or do something. Like for example, they do book distribution. Sridhar Srinivas Prabhu writes books and he distributes also books. And there is Rama Pramey Prabhu. He does some astrology. So there are some avenues in such a way that you need not do only a karmi job just because you cannot join in full time as a
Mm-hmm.
this one. But the problem is the one more problem is these type of devotees, those who cannot join full time and they cannot do karmi jobs. Getting Matajis as a marriage is a big issue for them. They are not
Mm.
they are not selected for marriage because they torture, they shave their head, they live very simple life. For them, Matajis, they don't want to get married. Matajis, they don't want to marry those Prabhujis who are like, who are very much orthodox like this. They don't want to get married. They don't want to marry them. So many Matajis are like that, and it is a very precarious condition. And those devotees who have a fixed income, fixed is, and that is also there. You can, if you are in a city, you need to have a fixed income. If you don't have income, that is also one of the aspect which we should consider from the Mataji's side. Those who want to get, don't want to get, why they don't want to get married? Because they also see some protection. If the farm is there, they see some protection. If you are
Mm.
just, some devotees, they go for astrology. Then it's not a fixed income. It's difficult.
It's
If they
very
would have
difficult,
worked,
bro.
if you would have worked for a few years in the software or some other like job or something, and then you have some saved income, and then you join full time. Like so many devotees, they all whomever I mentioned, they were like, for example, Sridhar Srinivas Prabhu was there previously in Seattle. He had some money kept for it, like as a saving, although it is not so much, but he has a house. So all these things matter. But now those who brahmacharis who cannot join full time, but at the same time who cannot work in karmi as a karmi job, for them it is very difficult. It is very difficult. Mm. The situation is very difficult. They are. I don't know how to mention that. So that's why
It's
we should.
very,
Yeah.
yes, bro. I have also seen such devotees, and even my case is also like that.
Is it so?
Yes, bro. I recently discussed with Guru Maharaj. Maybe I'll tell you later.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So
These are the things.
can't come to
Mm.
farm right now because of sick
Family
parents to
duty.
take care,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they may not be
Mm.
for them. It's not suitable to be in farm. Yeah,
Mm.
there are problems like that also, Prabhu. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah. Please read. Prabhu.
Yes, bro. In a big scale, you cannot make all of them as brahmanas or sannyasis. That is not possible. This is small scale. How much percentage of people of the world are we controlling? Very insignificant. But if you want to make the whole human society perfect, then this Krishna consciousness movement should be introduced according to Krishna's instruction. if you want to do it on a larger scale for the benefit of the whole human society. Now we are picking up some of them, the best. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Para Upakara, doing good for others. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela, chapter 9, text 41. Why should a certain section be picked up? The whole mass of people will get the benefit of it. Sve sve karmani abhirata samsiddhim labhate nara. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, text 45. Para upakara means mass benefit, not that there is certain section. For this, we have to introduce Varnashrama Dharma. It must be done perfectly, and it is possible, and people will be happy. And thus, although the Krishna consciousness movement is a movement of Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, it is trying to re-establish the divine Varnashrama institution. For without this division of society, there cannot be peace and prosperity anywhere. Straightforwardly, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness is trying to establish this Daiva Varnashrama. Daiva Varnashrama Dharma in a nutshell. The whole society is simplified, and the central point is how to become advanced in Krishna consciousness by cooperation. A common misunderstanding is to equate Daiva Varnashrama, the social order of Chaturvarnyam mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, with Asura Varnashrama, which maintains that the social order of Varna is indicated by birth. Similarly, although the regulative principles of Varnashrama Dharma in themselves are insufficient for attainment of the highest perfection, it is mistaken to consider Varnashrama Dharma merely a material arrangement having nothing to do with the devotional service. Srila Prabhupada clarified, there are different rules and regulations for different castes or divisions of society, and if a person is able to follow them, he will be automatically raised to the highest platform of spiritual realization. The perfectional form of human civilization, known as Varnashrama Dharma, is specially meant for satisfying Vishnu. The Varnashrama system is entirely meant for Vishnu Aradhana, worship of Lord Vishnu. Accepting the process of Varnashrama Dharma will make a person's life successful because this will connect with him with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the goal of human life. By following the principles of Varnashrama Dharma, one can satisfy the Supreme Lord. The purpose of Varnashrama is to enable people to become God conscious. The entire Varnashrama scheme is intended to enable people to become Vaishnavas. Ultimately, the aim of Varnashrama Dharma is to turn a crude man into a pure devotee of the Lord. The Varnashrama Dharma system is scientifically arranged by Krishna to provide facility for delivering the fallen souls back to home, back to Godhead. The system of Varnashrama Dharma prepares a man for going back to Godhead. People should be trained to become Vaishnavas through the system of Varna and Ashrama. Those who have come to the platform of human civilization should be divided into a society of Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras. The Brahmanas should follow the instructions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead as stated in Bhagavad Gita and other Vedic literatures. The criterion must be guna and karma. In other words, one should acquire the qualities of Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Shudra and act accordingly. This is the civilization accepted by the Aryans. Why do they accept it? They accept it because they are very eager to satisfy Krishna. This is perfect civilization. Varnashrama Dharma is man's stepping stone for spiritual understanding, ultimately to the highest level. This Krishna consciousness movement is meant for a complete overhauling of the whole social, political, religious, moral, educational, and hygienic principles. Without following these principles, human society cannot rise to the spiritual platform. The Varnashrama institution is constructed to enable one to realize the absolute truth. The entire social structure of Varna and Ashrama is a cooperative system meant to uplift all to the highest platform of spiritual realization. By Varnashrama Dharma, people will be automatically enlightened. Srila Prabhupada explained how. The effect of adhering to the institution of Varnashrama is gradual elevation to the spiritual platform and liberation from material bondage. By following the principles of Varnashrama Dharma, one gets the opportunity to associate with devotees. Such association gradually awakens one's dormant propensity to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead and frees one from all the basic principles of sinful life. One then gets the opportunity to offer unalloyed devotional service to the Supreme Lord Vasudeva. Thus, although ontologically devotees are above Varnashrama, still, to give others facility to come to the stage of Krishna consciousness, this program must be done. We must pave the situation in such a way that gradually people in general will be promoted to the spiritual plane. Our duty is to arrange the external affairs so nicely that one day they'll come to the spiritual platform very easily, paving the way. We are preaching, therefore, we must pave the situation so that gradually they'll be promoted to the spiritual plane. As Srila Prabhupada explained, in order to serve the mass of people to bring them to the ideal position, we should try to introduce this Varnashrama. Not that we are going to be candidates of Varnashrama. It is not our business. But to teach them how the world will be in a peaceful position, we have to introduce it. ISKCON is for the devotees, but not everyone will become a devotee. Not everyone will be able to surrender to Krishna. For those who will not, who will continue to act according to the modes of material nature, in order to situate them in the proper human culture, we need Varnashrama Dharma. Our main
Yes,
aim is how to give
yes.
them Krishna consciousness.
So this is important. ISKCON is
Mm,
for devotees, but not everyone will become a devotee. Not everyone will be able to surrender to Krishna. For those who will not, who will continue to act according to the modes of nature, in order to situate themselves in proper human culture, we need Varnashram.
mm,
Actually, unfortunately, because of differences between the devotees and so much of schisms, I mean, so much of actions within ISKCON, it literally, even the daily programs, even the normal schedules of the schedules of the, like which Prabhupada gave, that itself is a very difficult thing for devotees to follow, because of their karmic job and all those things. They don't have proper shravan. Everybody actually, whoever has taken initiation and whoever has vowed to chant 16 rounds, follow four regulative principles, every day they should hear the temporariness of the material world, the ultimately we have to go back, come back to Godhead, we have to develop Krishna Prem. Every day, our ears should hear that from Prabhupada. But hardly everybody hears once in a week or once in a month. They don't have even time to chant also. They cannot chant their rounds properly. You know, they go by, many devotees are kept in oblivion, kept in, and somehow they kept in some dark situation in such a way that they are satisfied by chanting from house to their office and then coming back from house to the office to the house. They are being told that whatever you're doing is very right, very nice, You continue, and they don't have to, they are not given opportunity to think that we can get out of this whole situation of becoming so much of pressurized situation, or not able to chant, not able to read. They may read, they are very good devotees, they give good classes, they are very good grihasthas, but they were not told that you need not do work so hard in your in this one, in this situation. Huh? They're not being told. It's a very serious thing. Actually, not telling devotees that why you have to work very hard. At least devotees should be told whether they give up their jobs or not, whether they join farms or not, whether somebody, like, at least this should be conveyed. But devotees, preachers have become in such a way that telling it is nowadays you can't tell to devotees it's a karmi job. Can you imagine? In some temples, you should not mention that it is a karmi job. You should not tell. Those devotees are not invited for lectures, actually. Karmi job, karmis,
Oh,
they don't use these words. Yeah, they're doing karmi job. No. Job, Prabhuji,
job
what you're
is,
doing in the job? Ah,
but it is karmi job only, right, bro?
no, but they don't say like that. They don't mention it. You can check it out with many devotees, those who are living in big metropolitan cities.
Oh,
All metropolitan cities, everybody knows that they are working as a karmi job, and the brahmacharis also know in the temple that they are working as a karmi job, but nobody will tell. Everybody will pamper them and keep them like that. I don't know, just for the getting donations, or that is the way it works, or if they go leave, what will happen to the temple? I don't know what is their mentality, because I never lived in metropolitan cities, Hyderabad, Bombay, all these places, big cities. There's so many devotees. They run for the service in the temple. They run and they go to the house. They jana hai, Prabhu, jana hai. I have to go to the Prabhu. I have this one. I have to go to the job. So the point is that how they are able to chant their rounds. It's a very big thing. They have so many things. They can't be in the temple just for 1 hour, 2 hour services of deities or cooking. They come and then just they run to the office, to their this one. Why so much? If you have worked for 10, 15, 20 years in a very big, posh company, you have so much of savings. Better save your money and give up your job and peacefully retire very early and get married your kids very early. Then you have so much of time. uh, but I don't know, somehow this whole thing is like ISKCON has become like that. If you see in big temples, everywhere it is like that. Grahasthas also serve in the temples. They come, they have their job, but they have a particular service in the temple. That's good. But they are never told that this burden of job, why burden of meetings, burden of submitting reports, these all things is there in their backside going on. Uh, Actually, it's a very precarious condition of many devotees, actually. And we think that Sadguru is the alternative. Can you imagine, devotees? You don't want to say that they are bogus. You don't want to say that, because we don't want to establish. And those people who wanted to do something to the society, instead of establishing varnashram, they open hospital and they do all these. From where it how this hospital came into picture? Because they are all doctors who are working in different organization. They thought that why don't we establish one hospital?
mm-hmm.
Can you imagine? These are all devotees under one congregation, and they all established one hospital. Why? Because they thought that that is the alternative for them. That is the way they can serve. Instead of that, if they would have opened a varnashram farm community, so many people would have become benefited out of it. But no, because their philosophy is misconstrued. They are deviated in one sense.
Yes.
I'm very sorry. This is what is happening, and all the devotees, many devotees in one temple, they gang up. Gang up means, they come together and then open one
Mm.
institution. Open one institution. teaching institution for teaching 10th standard students, 12th standard
Oh.
students, and for IIT. And they open and then teach them IIT, and they teach them IIT, and they have like some tidbits here and there to find out who is spiritually inclined, and then tackle them separately and give them some basics of Krishna consciousness, and then keep them in connect. That is good activity, but that is not the alternative for everybody. Then you will come out of that. I spoke to so many students who are in those kind of in Hyderabad, in Pune, but they cannot think that this is the alternative. They cannot think.
Mm.
I have spoken to so many devotees who are there 5, 6 years in Krishna consciousness, in the preaching field, in the teaching field, teaching to the students for cracking IIT. I tell them, why are you telling them to crack IIT? You understand what is their inclination? Give them some skilled job. That's enough. You go to IIT and preach. Those who are why see, the thing is that this is what is happening. People think that if I have a job, if I have some big job, if I have a big degree, people will become attracted to my preaching. It's not like that at all. Krishnadas Prabhu, there is one devotee in Salem, Krishnadas Prabhu.
Mm.
Nobody knows
Mm.
how to drive drone. He is from a family of barbers.
Mm.
None. He was from the family of barbers. He came, joined Krishna consciousness, and now he can drive drone. Can you imagine? He speaks a very good English. He
Yes,
takes
Prabhu.
care
He
of
doesn't
the
know English, but he translates proper lectures now.
He doesn't know English, but he's translating Prabhupada's English into Prabhupada's lectures into
Mm.
Tamil. Can you
Mm.
imagine a person who is coming from such a background for 20 years, 20, 25, 30 years? He never had any clue of what is ABCD of English, and he is doing such a thing. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Das from Vallavidhyanagar, he was there. He studied 6th standard, and he wanted to buy helicopter for his preaching because he opened so many centers, 17 centers. He wanted to buy helicopter so that time is not wasted, and he's done so
Mm.
much tremendous service for Maharaj and Prabhupada, and his so many centers. All the centers practically were opened by him in Gujarat. So the thing is that why devotees cannot come out of this one? And when I asked this particular question to one of the prominent devotees, he's saying that my temple president, he is an IIT graduate. Why are you saying IITs? Why are you holding that degree in
Mm.
your
Mm.
bag? Why don't you tell this is just torturous? This one, why are you again and again torture? You don't tell them that is a slaughterhouse, it is torture. You don't tell modern technology, modern ideas are not good. You don't tell them. Okay, if he is having a degree, use it in Krishna service. If he doesn't have a degree, why make him slog for 10 years?
Mm.
I know
Mm.
a Mataji. I wanted to give her books of Maharaj, and she said that, "Oh Prabhuji, क्या करूं? मेरे को 10 साल PhD करना है. I am doing service in particular." I don't want to tell where is that. It is one of the wing of ISKCON, which is taking care of the old antique things to get re-established. In that particular thing, in particular institute, which is under ISKCON, she is one of the serving there in that institute, and she is also a housewife. And I am telling you, Mataji, she's already 60s, and she is doing a PhD. And who told her? A prominent leader in one of the towns told her that why don't you do PhD? And 10 years she is doing PhD. Why? Why? What is the need? Actually, if you go to internally to many temples, you will know so many problems of devotees, how they are getting deviated subtly, speaking to one individual devotees. I spoke to many devotees. I know what is happening in these big metropolitan cities where big preaching is there. Yes, there's so many positive things going on, like book distribution, so many devotees, Ratha Yatras, big temples. All glories to all devotees, those who struggling, working hard like anything. But at the side by side, these all things are also chap like this is a mat. Under the mat, water is going on, but we don't know water is there under the mat. It is like that. Over a period of time, mat will become, because of the moisture, mat will become damp and it will become fungus. And after the fungus,
Mm.
it comes out, then we will know. This is a very beautiful example, which I thought now. No, yeah, very good. Devotees are becoming, but the water is going inside the mat and under the mat, and the mat is very nice. It looks on the top very nice, but under the mat there is so much of water. Dampness will create once the and over a period of time because of the dampness. Can you imagine in Bharuch, in some of the cities even in Salem also it happens like that. That the mats which they get, which they don't use over a period of time, the dampness rises, and then they will smell, and then the black fungi like appears on the top, and you can't clean them. You have to just throw it. That's all. That is what is happening among the devotees. I don't know. I don't know whether everybody is experiencing is it or not. I am at least I am seeing. I'm able to see that very clearly. I don't know. Some Matajis can see that or not. Some Prabhujis can see that, but that is what is encouraged. Matajis are encouraged to do an Instagram post. Matajis are encouraged to do Instagram videos. Of course, it's lectures. That's fine. But why you have to do? They have to take care of the children. They have to do so many things. They have to create acharyas for the future. That is the Mataji's responsibilities. But that is deviated. Instead of that, they want to preach outside. Why you want to give lectures? Why? There's so much you can do in your family in such a way that so many acharyas are waiting. As Maharaj said in Vyasa Puja lecture, so many jivas are waiting for the bodies to appear in this world. So we can give birth to an acharya. Who knows who can come? Huh? And if you are the Prabhujis, Matajis are very sincere, through them an Acharya can come. But if this is a situation, we are actually doing hinsa for those souls to enter the bodies. There's so many Matajis out there on the Facebook, social media. They are doing for what? For what? Couples are just sitting and doing podcasts. Why you have to do? You get children, we get 10 children and give to the society. We are going to these many big institutions for getting brahmacharis, and congregation devotees children are going to schools, colleges, and getting career. What is this happening? This is what is the problems. Actually, so many problems are there. There is one devotee, and one big leader is encouraging them to do podcasts. And Mataji comes in one T-shirt, and upon that she puts a chunni, and then her hair is this one, and his Prabhuji is sitting, and both are speaking, doing podcasts in Instagram and YouTube. Why you have to do that? What is the need? They don't want children nowadays. They don't want, no, so many young devotees, they don't have children. They don't have children. They don't have time to beget children. For children, for them is a hindrance for Krishna. But they think like that. So many devotees. They're busy preaching. What we will get? One of my godbrother told me that we don't have time for this one for children. We are preaching. My Mataji is doing translation, and I am preaching. What is this? If you don't have children, you cannot get children because of karma and all these things. That is another thing. But deliberately doing this is actually a disservice to Prabhupada. Actually, I don't want to tell so many things. Otherwise, I will open up so many other things. Hare Krishna. Okay. Okay, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Jagannath Chandra Prabhu, are you there?
Yes, Prabhuji, I'm here. Yeah.
So you read, Prabhu.
Okay. From
Jagannath,
uh,
Chandra, just I wanted to know. See, you are in the big, metropolitan city. Whatever I said is makes sense, or I'm just blabbering something.
yeah, Prabhu, the thing is that what you told about Mataji surprised me, but here actually in my building itself, people are actually they are going to this school, but in one sense, what we see is that I couldn't comment on, but people are like today, actually there is one video of Maharaja came, but like about the woman. So people are not very much interested with daily I read this Bhagavatam from 9 to 9:20, and in that many times in just in last 3 months many instances for last 5 years I'm reading for 20 minutes with the devotees. So many instances have come that woman needs to be submissive to others, and that is the most important. This we are not teaching, and we see that like in the metropolitan cities, this is called. Well, ladies are they are like they are controlling their husband, frankly, and there has gone too much.
No, that's okay. But
Okay, okay, but
other than
other
women,
thing is
I'm
that
talking.
other thing is that yeah, and in actually Pune also like there was a seminar on like how to do financial planning with devotees. So one big devotee
Hmm.
he asked other devotees, say I will teach you how to do financial planning, and he arranged a seminar and everybody said, oh good. So say we will so but like but you're spoiling the people just like yeah, like you are making people more karmi, like how to have more savings, how to put in a proper money, all this thing. So the
Yeah,
so
but what I'm saying is that whatever I have spoken till now, as far as I have traveled all over India and so many years, does it make sense what I have spoken?
yes, you what you said is correct because in one sense this is deteriorating our consciousness, and we are not
Okay.
assuring the proper systematic way of doing the devotional service.
Yes, bro.
Yeah.
Yes,
Please
Prabhu,
read.
it makes sense when it comes to career and all, right? People who work all day hard. They don't have time for chanting. They don't have time for reading, and they think
Prabhu,
children is
I
a burden.
actually like, I am very painful to say like that, okay, you are telling Prabhuji is to do PhD. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Why Mataji is at the fag end of age? Can you imagine
No, that
60
is too
year
much.
old
That is too much.
woman?
Yeah.
No, 60-year-old woman, and that Mataji is educated. I can understand that. She's educated, she's serving in a nice institution under ISKCON. Okay, let her serve. But is this the time to do that one? Or she has to take care of or teach her grandchildren how to behave properly, how to do samskaras? Is that the important, or doing PhD? What you will do doing PhD? And what is explained is that through you so many people will come. What she has to do like that it is being preached to everybody. Why? And I am telling it happened 2 3 years back. Now it is like a rampage, like anything. It is like so much ingrained among the congregations, among the people, that education is like they are getting inspired. I know so many devotees at one point of time wanted to become life coaches. Their only aim, youngsters, the seeing Vivek Bindra, seeing Shubha Vilas, seeing some devotees, the only aim youngsters is want to become life coaches. They were so trained. They're spending thousands and thousands of rupees just to become life coaches. That is their aim in their life. They're doing devotional service just to become life coach. Are they? What's happening? What to do? Okay, Prabhu, continue to read.
Just 1 second. Yeah, sorry. Our from beginning we need to start. ISKCON is for devotees or for from our main aim?
No, our
Huh?
main aim.
Our main aim is to how to give them Krishna consciousness. But if they are already disturbed in every respect, then how will they take it? Therefore, to help them to come to Krishna consciousness, this is the method. Varnashrama. However, Varnashrama dharma is also needed for aspiring Vaishnavas. Varnashrama dharma should be established to become a Vaishnava. It is not so easy to become Vaishnava. If to become a Vaishnava is so easy, why so many fall downs? On many occasions, in public talks and conversations, Srila Prabhupada preached to non-devotees about the need for Varnashrama dharma. He opened a lecture to student assembly of Uppsala University in Sweden.
No, no, Prabhu, it is Uppsala University in
Uppsala
Sweden.
University,
Uppsala.
okay. Uppsala University in Sweden, which he dedicated to entirely to this topic with the words, I shall try to explain the social structure of human society as described in Bhagavad Gita. Similarly, Srila
Actually,
Prabhupada
this there are so many devotees. this particular thing, Prabhupada's lecture in Uppsala University in Sweden. This is very, 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 very famous because Sweden's capital is Stockholm.
Yes, yes.
Stockholm is actually they don't like this one. It is fully a communistic this one. So Prabhupada opened that lecture, and there are so many devotees who gave what I can say, who gave memories about this particular lecture. Sweden, in Stockholm, there is this university is called Uppsala University, and many devotees are leftists actually. But Prabhupada spoke about Varnashrama Dharma over there. And Prabhupada was asked in this particular lecture, I think so, that he will explain about Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Prabhupada was asked, what you are then? And Prabhupada said, I'm servant of all, he said. Servant of all the 4 classes. Prabhupada said this in that particular lecture. There's a famous lecture like that.
Oh, great.
Are you a Brahmana? Prabhupada was asked, are you a Brahmana? No, I am servant of all. He said, servant of Brahmana, Vaishya, Shudra. Yeah. Yes, Prabhu.
Similarly, Srila Prabhupada instructed disciples to preach on the basis of the division of society into 4 orders, as without this, society is useless and people cannot be happy or even have the necessities of life. Introducing Devi Varnashram Dharma along with practice of Krishna consciousness is meant to practically implement the teachings of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam.
It is not Daivi, Prabhu, it is Daiva.
Daiva
Varnash.
Daiva Varnashram. Okay. And this.
You can read, no, you can read slowly when you are reading Daiva, not Varnashrama. Daiva Varnashrama. Slowly, no problem.
Introducing Daiva Varnashrama Dharma along with the practice of Krishna consciousness is meant to practically implement the teachings of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. This will benefit everyone both materially and spiritually. Devotees can be steadier in their spiritual practices, and many people can take to Krishna consciousness at a level they can realistically maintain. Certainly, the re-establishment of Varnashrama Dharma would be a hard sell. Yet the Hare Krishna movement or Krishna conscious movement is meant for this purpose. The Krishna conscious movement is being propagated all over the world to re-establish the Varna Ashrama Dharma system and thus save women's society from gliding down to hellish life. One of the functions of a Krishna conscious society is to establish Daiva Varna Ashrama all over the world to constitute a perfect society for Krishna consciousness. The Krishna consciousness movement is meant for re-establishing the system of 4 Varnas and Ashramas. Because the transcendental devotees of the Lord are free from material envy and are well-wishers to everyone. They strive to establish a complete nationless society with God in the center. Hence, the Krishna conscious movement is very eager to reintroduce Varna Shrama Dharma. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 4.13, Chaturvarnyam Maya System Guna Karma Vibhagashah. The 4 Varnas, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra must be present in the society. The Brahmanas are required for guidance.
It is Chaturvarnyam. It is not Chaturvarnyam. It is Chaturvarnyam.
Chaturvarnyam. Okay. Chaturvidha. Okay. Chaturvarnyam. Okay. Chaturvarnyam Maya.
It is not. It is not like the Chaturvidha Bhajante Man. You have in your mind Chaturvidha Bhajante Man. So it is Chaturvarnyam. That is Chaturvidha.
Okay. Yeah. Chatur. Yeah. Okay. The Brahmanas are required for the guidance of the whole society. If there is no such institution as Varnashrama Dharma, and if human society has no such guide as the Brahmana human society. Next page. Human society will be hellish. In Kali Yuga, especially at the present moment, there is no such thing as a real Brahmana, and therefore society is in a chaotic condition. Formerly, there were qualified Brahmanas, but at present, although there are certainly persons who think themselves Brahmanas, they actually have no ability to guide society. The Krishna consciousness movement is therefore very eager to reintroduce the Varnashrama system into human society so that those who are bewildered or less intelligent will be able to take guidance from qualified Brahmanas. Re-establishment of Varnashrama Dharma will bring happiness to the world. If the people of the world, taking into account their respective material qualities, divide the whole society into 4 orders for material progress and 4 orders for spiritual progress, centering these orders on Krishna and following the instructions of Krishna as stated in Bhagavad Gita, the entire human society will undoubtedly be happy. The above quotes are just a sampling of Srila Prabhupada's copious reference and details about Varnashrama Dharma and traditional Indian life that he cited from Shastra history and and personal experience. Clearly, his Varnashrama initiative was a major factor in his overall endeavor to benefit humankind. This strategy was in pursuance of vision of the major recent Gaudiya Acharyas. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur had conceptualized the re-establishment of Daiva Varnashrama for the upliftment of human society and the facilitation of the worldwide spread of Krishna consciousness. Subsequently, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur established the principle of Brahminical status of Vaishnavas, and our own Srila Prabhupada took the Varnashrama project worldwide. But the major work is yet to be done.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Difficult to.
Okay, Prabhu.
Yeah. Hare.
Difficult to implement. While aiming to re-establish ideal Varnashrama society, Srila Prabhupada sometimes conceded that doing so was hardly possible. It is no longer possible to revive the perfect system. Although we are trying it, it is not possible. It is very difficult. People are so fallen. How can the peaceful Varnashrama Dharma be revived when people are so harassed in this age? It is virtually impossible. The Varna and Ashrama society was considered to be the best institution for lifting the human society to spiritual platform. But due to Kali Yuga, it is not possible to execute the rules and regulations of these institutions. The system of caste or Varnashrama Dharma is no longer regular even among the so-called followers of the system. Or it is now possible to re-establish the institutional function in the present context. Nor is it now possible to re-establish the institutional function in the present context of social, political, and economic revolution. Still, Srila Prabhupada was not hopeless about reviving Varnashrama Dharma. While acknowledging the duties, Srila Prabhupada nevertheless expressed his determination to introduce Daiva Varnashrama in accord with Shastra and desires of the previous Acharyas. We are trying to establish Daiva Varnashrama as it is instructed by the Goswamis, by Haribhakti Vilas, by our spiritual master. It may not be very perfect, but we are trying our best to introduce this Varnashrama Dharma. Daiva Varnashrama. Although it might not be necessary or possible to fully institute traditional Varnashrama with its myriad rules and conventions, Srila Prabhupada wanted at least the basic framework. Notwithstanding obstacles, it can be done. Sankirtan is the key. Because the population of the modern world consists mostly of Shudras, the Brahminical culture is now lost and is extremely difficult to re-establish in a particular way. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya has recommended the chanting of the holy name of the Lord, which will revive Brahminical culture very easily. Brahminical culture is lost and can be revived only by chanting of the Hare Krishna, of the Mahamantra. Therefore, the Krishna consciousness movement or the Hare Krishna movement has been inaugurated to revive Brahminical culture very easily so that people may become happy and peaceful in this life and prepare for elevation in the next. Through the popularizing of Hari Kirtana or the Sankirtan movement, the Brahminical culture and Kshatriya government will automatically come back and people will be extremely happy. Practical implementation. Only at farms is it possible to present the ideal Varnashrama system, Srila Prabhupada stated. This vision of establishing Varnashrama Dharma as the basis of sane society, devotees should first attract people in the cities by establishing temples and distributing Krishna conscious literature. Next, as people become devotees, they can relocate to farm communities where they can live the Krishna conscious lifestyle described in the books with wholesome occupations favorable to spiritual development and thus remain fixed in devotional service without the distractions and allurements of the cities. There is some I don't know, but there is somebody says that it's a fourth wave of the movement. First is that mm, uh, temple, or what is that, book distribution movement, and
First
then
is the Sankirtan.
temple.
First is Sankirtan,
Yeah,
second is the lecture, and third is the deity worship, and this one, and fourth one is the this farm community. Actually, Sabyasachi Prabhu, he reference from one Prabhupada as gave a letter to Indira Gandhi, or I think Mahatma Gandhi wrote. I don't know. To one politician wrote a letter. So it is like paper. If you keep a paper. If you divide a paper into four quarter, I mean, like if you want to he showed like actually Varnashrama is 50%. Other three constitute 50%. Together they contribute 50%, and Varnashrama itself takes 50%. Savyasachi Prabhu provided no logic of paper. I forgot exact logic. Yeah, if you want to fold, the first fold will be only take only certain percent. Second will third, then the fourth will take the 50%. So yeah. So
yeah.
that's the reason.
So the thing is, the first Sankirtan movement means we have to invite people for distribute by distributing books. So the first wave is book distribution wave. There are four waves. In the fourth wave is actually Varnashram. So first wave is book distribution. Second wave is establishing temples where they will worship the Lord, where they will come. So there should be a place of worship where the deities are established. They will build, develop attachment to the deities, attachment to the worship, attachment to the for the kirtan and sadhana, all these things. So second is they will become attached to the temple. So first is Sankirtan, book distribution wave. Second is the temple wave. Third is the initiation and making them fixed in Krishna consciousness, giving them Diksha and Siksha. So third is that. So third. Fourth wave is to make them get out of those all these things where they are and establish what is there in their books. The fourth wave is actually Varnashram. That is the fourth wave. This is very, very important. Then uh, so, but now the problem is they are distributing books, they're establishing temples, they're making devotees to get Bhakti Shastri, all the degrees, but they are not making them to get out of the cities. They're making them to more and more allured by the cities. So if you are having preaching, yeah, it is not that we are just forcing people or anything. Maharaj doesn't do like that. Maharaj is explaining that if you are educated, if you are this one, okay, if you are preaching, then fine. But if you are having a like but this alternative, if it is not established, and even temples cannot survive. What I generally tell that, like for example, so many temples, every temple, for example, we are all dependent on the rice, the grains, whatever is produced by the Karmi society. We are not having our own full-fledged, even for the deities, even for the devotees who are staying in the temples. No temple is having some lands in such a way that they can produce everything for the deities. No, everything we have to purchase from outside, and that is full of chemicals. Even from the perspective of material perspective also, there's so many devotees there, so many people, karmi people are there. They understood that we have to go for the homesteads, we have to go off grid. Okay, off grid is not varnashrama, not this one, but they off grid means you'll have some solar or bio or something like that. But still they have understood that living in the cities is a great problem. This Monsanto, this Bill Gates is having full throttle plan for 10 years how to degrade the population. Can you imagine? Huh? I don't know whether we should say this or not, but because of him only this COVID came, because of the vaccination. What is this vaccination? This is all meant to kill the population. Huh? You should not beget more children. This is what is happening. Everything, medicine, every field. See, Every labeled food, everything is having so many chemicals. They are meant just to kill you and make you diseased, so that you can go to the doctors and the pharma industry can grow. Otherwise, where the doctors will go? It's a whole thing. The whole government, the whole establishment, the whole big banks, all they live on the bodies of the people. In United States, it is like that. They live from the body. You have to get insurance. You have to have a car. That is, for that you have to take a loan. You have a house. You have to take a loan. The job. You need to work hard for these many hours. You need to pay the bills. You need to have internet. You need to have a phone. You need to have this particular connection, the gas connection, the internet connection. Everything should be there. You should have hot water connection. Everything should be there, and everything has an insurance, car insurance. Everything is related to money. And whatever food you did, you need to go to a particular um, uh, big department store. You have to purchase. You cannot produce. You are there in this city. So everything, and whatever the chemicals, what they do, this is all artificial, genetically modified food. And organic food they produce, but it is very high prices. You can't afford to get it. Huh? And then the genetically modified food, modified like food, GMF foods and all will have so many chemicals. What you will do? You will get disease. You will get diabetes. You will get arthritis. You will get spondylitis. You have to get cervical spondylitis. You will get all sorts of cancer. Everything. So you go to the hospitals. How you get the hospitals? But they have so many bills. You need to take insurance. But if you have health insurance, then that money is reduced. See, this whole thing is connected to each other. They are just established just to loot you, like anything. Can you imagine what kind of atmosphere are we living? Even brahmacharis are having a lot of problems. Huh? In US, if you purchase a car, the maintenance goes way ahead than what is the price of the car. Every year you have to pay $500 for the insurance. Every 2-3 years you need to get it done. So many problems. And if you get ticket every time here and there, when your ticket means, I mean to say, if you get fined, it is way. If you cross the red line, if you cross the school bus, $1,000, $300, $500. Arre Baba. So loot, open loot like anything. Oh, unless and until we get out of this hellish life, we will be eaten away, rotten away like anything. You need to have black money more and more to live in the cities. If you're waged, if you're having fixed monthly income, you can't live in a city unless and until you're having black money like anything. How they are able to live a lavish life? These cinema people, the sports stars, how they are able to live? Because they don't bother. They don't bother about anything. They can purchase any or anything and for that anything. But common man cannot. So Varnashrama is the only alternative for devotees. Otherwise, they will be eaten away by this in this rat race. Okay, continue. Being aware that most people today are far more removed. See, Maharaj rating. Being aware that most people today are far removed from the natural lifestyle demonstrated by Krishna, Srila Prabhupada proposed Varnashrama College. That, along with spiritual knowledge, will also teach practical skills such as how to give protection to the cows, how to till the field and grow food. Education for leaders is to include how to properly protect the citizens and provide them with training, land, and appropriate occupations. This government knows, but they don't want to do it, because if you become independent in producing and training and land and all these things, then their market will not go. That is what is happening all over the world. They want to control. They don't want to teach people how to, better to know, tell them how to fishing than give them fish. That is one proverb is there, some from Bible or something, I don't know. They don't want to teach people how to do, because they want to keep them, because there are so many big Adanis, Ambanis, how their companies will go on if everybody goes to the field and does agriculture, and they produces food whatever they want. Then how these Ambanis and Adanis will prevail? How these big companies will prevail? That is what is the thing. Is government and these big capitalists are one and the same. The same. They're hand in hand. Their policies are not favorable for common public. Their policies are favorable for these big establishment, big corporates. Now the budget is like this. 2026 budget is fully favoring Adani, Ambani, and big people. Not favorable at all for common public. Okay. As there are schools and colleges to train students to become chemical engineers, lawyers, and specialists in many other departments, and all, there must be schools and colleges to train students to become Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Brahmachari, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyasi. Referring to Varnashrama as Indian civilization, Srila Prabhupada considered that in the land of Bharatavarsha, the institution of Varnashrama may be easily adopted, and wanted that especially in India, this ideal life of human society should be inaugurated. Actually, the main thing for establishing Varnashrama in India is that electricity. The main thing is that power supply, the light. So this can be easily established in India, but in US you can't do that. Everybody should have electricity connection. That's all. Full stop. Period. You can, if you have a house, you should have electricity. You cannot go. For example, in Krishna Life, they established the farm in there. It is not that they don't have electricity. They should have electricity. In their own way, they may stop it. They may switch it off. But they should have electricity connection. You can't get away with that. There are few European, I don't know. In Europe, it was like that there was one company which used to go to farmers and collect the seeds which they keep. Seeds for growing, for future growing. The seeds. Monsanto did like this for once upon a time. I don't know now do you doing it or not, and I don't know. Huh? So this is all, seeds they want to control because they don't want to give to the people. Yeah. Even in US also it's like that. So many lemons, lime, they don't have seeds because they want to get seeds from the corporates, and that will produce lemons, and that you have to eat it. That's all. Where to start and where to stop? There's so much hellish things going on all over the world. Okay. Godly natural life versus industrial hell. So tomorrow we will read it, but today we will stop here. If any devotees have, whatever I'm saying is true, or what do you think? I'm just, we'll stop here. It's just I'm asking. Hare Krishna. If anybody has anything to ask or say, you can, or else we'll stop here. Okay, shall we stop? Okay. Okay, we'll stop here and we'll meet tomorrow at this time. Vansha kalpatarubhyascha kripasindhibhyo vacha padidanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Bhakti Vikas Swami Maharaj ki jai. Moody Mission of Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.